Number 10, Boise State. They didn't look great against Wyoming, but they just got the job done. Also, Ashton Genty is their ultimate cheat code. He's their X factor. He separates Boise State from a lot of other group of 5 teams. Number 9, SMU. Let's put some more respect on their name. They beat Virginia 33-7, but also clinched a spot in the ACC championship game. Their only loss was to BYU, and that was a 3-point loss early on in the season in September. But they're playing some pretty good football, and maybe I should even have them higher than this at number 9, but they have a real shot to win their conference and have a bye in the first round of the playoff. Number 8, Tennessee. If they take care of business next week against Vanderbilt, they'll be in the playoff. And honestly, I think that's all you can really ask of this Tennessee team realistically in the offseason. The 12-team playoff was kind of made for teams like Tennessee, where maybe you're not going to win your conference, but you're good enough to compete. So they might even host a playoff game, which would be really good for that program. They just have to take care of business next week. Number 7, Miami. They got the win. Now they must beat Syracuse next weekend in order to secure their spot in the ACC championship game. And this is where I thought about ranking SMU higher, but I stuck with Miami because I do believe in Cam Ward. I don't trust Miami. I don't trust Mario Cristobal. I don't trust Miami's defense. And even Cam Ward at times will turn the ball over. But Miami is very explosive on offense, and Cam Ward can help win you a lot of games. And assuming Miami beats Syracuse, we should see a pretty good ACC championship game. Number 6, Georgia. Georgia had a blowout win today, and they didn't have to show this, but they still have that gear that you can hit and control a game, especially defensively. This is not the Georgia team of years past. We know this, but I do think right now Georgia is the best 2-loss team. Number 5, Notre Dame. They seem to be in a pretty good position. I mean, just take care of business, and they're going to be, the 5 or 6 seed? They beat Army this last weekend, giving Army their first loss of the season. And I know Notre Dame hasn't played a really tough schedule when it comes to big-time games. They do have that win over Texas A&M, and that was at Kyle Field, so that was a good win. Notre Dame has figured out how to run the football, but even defensively, they have NFL guys all over the place. Number 4, Texas. I don't trust Texas at all. And I don't know, I feel like this is too high. And I kind of feel like I know that this is probably too high for them because they might lose going to Texas A&M next week. They're taking care of business. They have the 1 loss to Georgia. We're going to find out quick what Texas is made of. Number 3, Penn State. They escaped, absolutely escaped with a win on the road at Minnesota, but a few things to unpack here. So I do think Minnesota is a little bit better than what people realize. They see the 6-5 record, but they've been a tougher out. Yes, Penn State shouldn't be in a position to win that game by only 1 point. Penn State has been known to have a coaching staff and head coach where maybe they can't execute and win games like that, big time games, or in this case, a close game, but then being able to execute something like a fake punt that they had late in the 4th to help them win that game. I think that's credit to a coaching staff. It's credit to a team that normally doesn't do these things and win these type of games. Number 2, Ohio State. Dominant win over Indiana. All 3 phases of the game, the offense figured it out. Defense showed up big time, got lots of pressure on Curtis Rourke. And then special teams, Caleb Downs returning that punt back in the 3rd quarter for a touchdown. This Ohio State team is dangerous, and if they take care of business next week against Michigan, then they will find themselves in a rematch against Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. Number 1, Oregon. They had a bye this week. They're still undefeated, and they have already clinched their spot in the Big Ten championship game.